Soul Garden.
Hello Aries, and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I am your host to the universe, Christopher Witecki. And this week's free horoscope is sponsored by Soulmart. The Act 2 videos are now available, and not just available, but for immediate download now. We fixed all that. So you can go down to soulmart.me, pick up your Act 2. You can do your rising sign or your sun sign. These took a long time to record, total of 3 hours of content up there, but it's really good and it's really deep, and I'm really proud of them. So check them out. You will love it. And don't forget to come down to soulgarden.me. There's no place like Soul Garden. Right now, Bernadette Morgan is writing an article saying, yes, we slam doors. Actually, that comes from SG Live last week, where I outed her about her Aries behavior. But we're talking about being strong Aries right now in the garden. If you need a little encouragement, you got a whole team waiting for you. It's your birthday period. Happy birthday, Rams. It's that time of year where no matter what's going on, no matter what year it is, the universe is playing your tune right now. And although it's a lot of shifting in this particular year, you really are set up to succeed in many ways. I'm excited to talk about it, and I talk a lot about it in the Act 2 videos. As we begin the week, the Arieses are working on ego consciousness, and we have a Uranus rule day in Chapter 2. So Monday is a breakdown day, breaking down something that might not work so well in your ego. This might have been a defense that went firing off by accident, your mouth might have gone firing off, or you might have let something happen to you that you regret letting happen to you, or not speak up when you want to speak up. Whatever went wrong, it was a lesson, and it's a lesson for you to understand to make final adjustments for the ego consciousness. The moon has progressed into Leo, so emotions on Monday are with the inner child. Try not to take it personally, but also realize that inner child can perk up just as quick. Surrender to some love, do something you like, take yourself on a play date, and you'll perk up and you'll see what life is worth living about. Mercury is still retrograde as we start the week. You can also see here it's highlighting the issues of Chiron and Neptune. That's something we talk a lot about in Act 2 as well. But at the same time, your mind is still cloudy, but will sharpen up coming up. We'll talk about that. Then on Tuesday, we have breakthrough. Mercury rules the day, and this is the last Mercury rule day while Mercury is retrograded. So you might carry the little snafu of your ego down to maybe an issue in childhood, an issue in karma, an issue in your subconscious. Maybe find the little fuse to the little bomb, or what we call the weed in your soul garden. So with the Mercury retrograde, you might really get to the bottom of things, which is good. And at the same time, you'll get to the top of things when it comes to how to speak in your ego, how to stand in your ego, etc. The moon moves into Virgo on Tuesday and will cross your ruling planet Mars. Mars is still retrograde, so overall this is a deflated birthday period. You're running kind of at half mass, and a lot of your anxious energy or Martian energy is designed to get to the bottom of things within you, not necessarily get to the bottom of things outside of you. So you emotionally kind of feel that. You might have a little anxiety on Tuesday as the moon crosses your retrograde Mars, which is in the sector of health and body right now for the Rams. Now don't forget, we have office hours on the mothership on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where we'll do a free 15 minutes on webcam. Right here we actually have Master One Feather talking to Carolyn Nagel. This is kind of what it looks like, so come on down. We'll give you a free 15. All you need is a webcam, or there's a chat room, and we've got a lot of people there to support you on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. Pacific. Then on Wednesday, things shift and we start to fight fears. These red lines are those classic fears. Venus hops over to 0 degrees Gemini. Venus is the focusing agent of how we receive. You'll be receiving thoughts and receiving ideas now instead of receiving capital and investment like you have been for a while. Don't worry, plenty of capital coming with Jupiter. I just felt all those 10,000 thoughts that said, what? what? No, it's not going to happen. But you do have to break some fears here between receiving thoughts from your psychic side, Neptune. So you might have a little fear, maybe being crazy, maybe of trusting that voice, but you're going to start working through those fears. Notice Venus is also squaring Mars, so you're also fighting fears between your thoughts and your body and your daily reality. So you start fear fighting on Wednesday, but Wednesday Venus is ruling the day, so the overall objective from the universe is to smooth things out. I think smoothing things out means you kind of start to fight these fears. Fart these fears. That's a Mercury retrograde joke right there. The moon does stay in your body. Actually, Wednesday is a great workout day or investment in your body day, looking at all this, especially if you're full of stress from that fear. Then on Thursday, it's a day of tuning into our higher self, logging into our higher self, and getting some answers. If there's ever a day to be afraid of what your intuition is, this is the day to not be. This is the day to put it aside. This is the day to log in. When we log into our I sense state of awareness, we're basically kind of getting a bird's eye view or sense of things. And no matter how we play things in the moment, we always have to check our radar and see, what the big space picture is from our higher self. So Thursday is a day of checking that out. The moon will begin then to move into Libra on its approach to a full moon, and emotions for you will then shift from your daily reality to relationships, which is what this full moon is going to be about. Then on Friday, it's actually a pretty fantastic Friday. It's a full moon Friday, this particular Friday, and it's a full moon in Libra. Now, if you know astrology, a full moon is a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's because it is beautiful in the sky, but really it tears us apart. Why? We have a tug-of-war on the earth. That's why. The sun one way, the moon the other. For you, emotions get big, a full moon emotion, when it comes to relationships. Either you want to be in a working relationship, or you want your existing relationship to work, or maybe this is just about your relationship to yourself. You really want to be fair to yourself from now on, which will naturally lead to good relationships. It is in that order. But full moon is about release. We're going to release emotional baggage. And if you are carrying relationship emotional baggage, really, if you get emotional about relationships, it's to release the baggage. It's not necessarily to start doubting everything. All right? And of course, I'll be texting people with that as well on Friday. The sun, on the other hand, will have new ideas as far as what your ego needs to be in a relationship, how you need to position yourself in all relationships, and the moon's going to actually cross over Saturn over the weekend. So that will be taking responsibility for what you learn on the full moon. Now, don't forget, we have SG Live on Fridays with Carolyn Nagel and myself, and I hear that I'm getting kind of funny in this thing, so you really ought to come on down. If you can't see it live, well, no problem. We do record it and have it ready on the weekends. But if you do see it live, there's a chat room. We all hang out, and we're talking about strength right now with guest Bernadette Morgan, our Zodiac Director of SoulGarden.me. Then on the weekend, it's really kind of a nice wrap-up weekend. It's a really typical holiday weekend. So it's interesting how the planets sort of cooperate with human beings' holidays. We do begin an opposition this weekend between Saturn and the Sun, which means whatever emotional issue you go through with relationships, either it's you have to treat yourself better or be in better relationships, or got to get rid of the husband, got to get rid of the wife, or whatever the emotion is, you're going to begin to have to tug of war it and work it out to its completion through this period. That's what this sun is. So you'll be having to really work it out. It's not just a passing thing. You know how relationships have been a problem with you for a good 18 months, almost a year and a half going back. But now, this is a different time. This is a time where you're going to really start to try to fix it. And Saturn is going to go direct at the end of Act 2. I bring that up in the Act 2 videos, and when it does, you will see everything move in motion. But you're really going to be serious this year about fixing things. The moon over the weekend moves into Scorpio, and so emotions will be focusing on self-reflection, learning. It's a very spiritual, very just kind of philosophical weekend. So it's kind of atypical Easter weekend in that regard. By the way, those of you who are watched over by the Guardian Agency, we have a new Witecki feature going out called Past Life with Texts. And this is using the chart analogy or chart information that we get when you first join, and then we go back and look at some of the trends that happen with some of the planets, a little formula that we have. But it's kind of cool, and just for some extra fun this week of what your past lives might have been. All right, Aries, that's all I have for today, but I will see you in 7 days with more. Until then, live, love, be.